Alright, welcome back. Now we're alone to tackle the rest of the Great Maze. Let's finish this off. So yeah, last time we started the Great Maze, which is this giant sprawling level, pretty much containing elements from every single level we have faced up until this point. And with our guest Blanca, we were able to get through about halfway. I can only presume that we are halfway done. And we should be able to finish the rest of it today, even if it's a longer video. But yeah, just kind of sit back and relax, and we're going to cover this last level together. One thing that I did last time is, so that I could kind of more naturally play, Bowser's really big here. Oh shit. So I could more naturally play and talk. I just went ahead and picked characters I'm very comfortable with, some of my favorites from Brawl, and really honed in on them. And I think my goal here today was trying to get the rest of the cast some love. Hopefully play a little bit of everyone, and maybe along the way share some memories or favorite games that I have that will also, I don't know, just kind of show why this cast is so special to me. And just in general why video games are so special to me. And let's start with one of them, Mario. And I guess Bowser and DK kind of get lumped in here. You know, Mario games are special and whatnot. You know, there's so many out there that I love. But I think a absolute childhood favorite of mine, and still, looking back and going back to it, still one of my favorites, Mario Strikers Charged for the Wii. Man, I did not get the new game. It just didn't feel like... I just wanted to enjoy the memories I had and not have it be tainted by these Mario sports games nowadays that don't really, I don't know, they don't give as much love to the property as, they just don't give that as much love because they usually come out incomplete. But I don't want to focus on the negative. That game, one of my favorites as a kid. It really gives the whole Mario cast so much more personality. Let's move along here. It gives the Mario cast that's usually a little bit more one-dimensional so much personality, and I think the game's just so much fun mechanically as well. Yeah. Next, we have Link, and, you know, how do I bring up Link without bringing up Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? I still remember the day Tears of the Kingdom came out, or not Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild came out. The Switch came out, I got my license that morning, my driver's license, and I immediately went to go pick up my Switch and Breath of the Wild, and I played that game all night until I passed out. Like, I passed out while playing the game, not because I was bored, it was just, I had to keep my eyes open the entire time. And it was just such a lovely experience. Like, I don't know if I've ever had a much more, like, blissful, exciting, like, gameplay session of a game ever. Whoop. And it was awesome too because it was a long weekend. My high school canceled for some sort of break, so I just had the most lovely evening and weekend just playing a game I was looking so forward to for a while. Because, you know, I think up until that point, I was just more of a casual Zelda fan. Actually, I hadn't played too many Zelda games before that. And the only one I think I've completed up until that point was probably Skyward Sword. I went back and finished Wind Waker and a few others, but... Oh no, I played Link Between Worlds. It wasn't many. I'm definitely missing a few, but... I love Zelda. I've met so many friends through Zelda. And I enjoy Zelda even now. Tears of the Kingdom's wonderful. DK does amazing Tears of the Kingdom streams. Probably not anymore by the time of recording this, but you know. And unfortunately, in terms of like Metroid and Star Fox, those are games I just haven't dabbled in too much. I mean, I can always appreciate that they're there, and I appreciate that it gives people happiness. I don't have too many memories with them. I think the only Star Fox game I have played, and I'm so sorry about this, Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube. I know that's really bad. That's like a notoriously bad Star Fox game. It wasn't even meant to be a Star Fox game. But, you know, I appreciate it, that it's out there. Ooh. Come on. Kirby was also kind of like a later one for me. I really loved Superstar Ultra as a kid. I always had a hard time beating it because, I don't know, Kirby's not a hard game, but some of those later arena modes get kind of crazy. I love that the game's multiplayer, like local co-op. That is just such a delight, and I've played that game with many different family members, and what a joy. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten a chance to switch characters, so kind of running out of things to say about this cast that we have so far. Wait, why did I charge ahead of time? I don't think I'll carry over. Yeah, we have a rematch with Galleon. A third fight with him. And don't worry, we won't have another one with the Ruined Hall version of him. You just fight him once. Let me get that. Let's do the triple screw attack. I know that this is mostly Nintendo games, and while I'm here, I want to like shout out other games that I love. Like more indie stuff, because everyone needs more time in the limelight. Binding of Isaac, Cult of the Lamb, Stardew Valley. Those are some top tier games for me. Another game, this is Nintendo, but it doesn't get enough love. Codename Steam. It was a 3DS era game by Intelligent Systems, using American folklore, and it was like kind of like what is that game? It's inspired Mario Rabbids, where you fight the aliens. I'm like totally blanking, but are we gonna get a sequel where he jumps on the thing? Oh, okay. I might actually die. Oh, come on, come on. Oh. Whoops. I guess we're gonna have to redo that fight. Other games. PvZ. PvZ was one of the first games I bought as a kid. And Chuzzle. I remember Chuzzle. Big fan of Chuzzle. The Simpsons Hit and Run. I love that game. Not necessarily Nintendo published. Sonic Rush. I played that game so much as a kid. Did a lot of multiplayer. Oh, Okami. Okami also definitely deserves a spotlight. Amaterasu was one of my biggest hopes for Ultimate. Unfortunately, she never made it, but man, I would love for her to be in another Smash game. Oh, actually, I guess while I'm still talking, I can explore some of the games that I love by talking about characters I really wanted in Smash. I wanted Monokuma, not because I'm necessarily a Danganronpa fan. I've never played the games, but the music. I would have done anything to get Danganronpa music and Danganronpa like remixes in Smash. What banger soundtracks. I wanted Rayman, I wanted Porky. Because the fact that he wasn't in the game at all was just so suspicious for me. I went to Gino. It's a little bit more normie, but still, I love Gino. Well, while we're here and healed up, let's move on to Pikachu, then Luigi, then Captain Falcon, and then Ness, because we used all our Yoshi last time. Alright, let's move on. So yeah, I know this is like sporadic, but I really do want to share a bunch of games that I love and experiences, because there's really not much else to talk about here. We've seen all of this before. I think we go to the right here. Pokemon was a weird thing. I wasn't super into the games. Actually, one of probably the reasons I got more into video games along with Smash was through Pokemon cards. A family friend gave me a Flygon card when I was a child, and from there I got super into Pokemon. I don't know what it was about it, but I don't know, it got me super into it. I think that same like family friend helped me get into Mario Hoops 3-on-3. And that is another game that deserves more love. Like, what a cool game. My Wi-Fi just went out. Interesting. That shouldn't affect anything, but still, a little odd. Yeah, that game, the music's so good. Having Final Fantasy characters and a Square Enix developed Nintendo game that just ends up being a sports title. It's so bizarre and so weird, but I'm so glad that it exists. I know Sports Mix is a similar thing, but it's not quite the same. But yeah, anyway, back to Pokemon. I loved Pokemon. I got super into it as a kid. I'm not as much of a fan anymore. I bought Scarlet and Violet, but I think that's where I'm. I think that's where I'm at for the rest of the time I'm on this planet. It's a weird way to phrase it. I think I just want a break from Pokemon. But I just always appreciate the creature design and following up with the latest games, just because I still care about the world. But yeah, I think my first game that I owned was Diamond, and I guess back then I didn't understand that you could have more than one team member. I did that for Gen 4, Gen 5, and I finally broke that streak with Gen 6. And I would always use the grass type starters, because I thought they were the coolest. And I would just do a run with just that starter. And nowadays, like, I still love the series. I'm like super into watching stuff about competitive Pokemon. I love watching people design their own Pokemon. It's super, super delightful. Luigi. my biggest like Luigi memory, like specifically I guess with like Luigi's Mansion, was that I didn't own the game for a while. Or like when I was into Checker Conroy and starting to try out all the games that he played on his series, I was able to borrow a copy of Luigi's Mansion to try it out. And I got too freaked out and couldn't finish the game because of that, the blackout segment. I was a little bit of a coward, but also the Luigi's Mansion trees from Mario Kart DS scared me. So, Captain Falcon, I've unfortunately not really gotten a chance to play a lot of F-Zero games. I definitely have tried some, but more in my older days when, just to like try them, never really got too into them. And same there, I actually never played Earthbound, and didn't get super into Earthbound, but I do love the Mother 3 game, and I appreciate Earthbound for getting us where it did, and how it's kind of, even nowadays, like the effects of Earthbound are felt in a lot of indie games. Alright, next down the line. Bowser. I don't know. I played a lot of him in Mario Strikers, kind of going back on that topic. I don't know. I just thought he was cool. Don't have too many like specific or fond memories with Bowser. Jesus. Almost killed immediately. Oh, yeah, since I'm back at that original point from the original series, that was in normal mode, so I'm back in normal mode. It's just gonna make the Galleon defeat even more embarrassing, but you know. Actually think that we want to come back to this part later. I guess with Bowser, I remember I got Bowser's Inside Story as a kid. And it was one of, you know, it was kind of early on into when I was starting to get games for myself. And I convinced the person taking me to pick up the game that it was educational because it dealt with biology. Like, you got to learn about biology when that is probably very, very far from the truth. I don't remember too much about the body facts in that game, and I don't know much about biology, so I'm gonna say that's probably a lie. With Peach, my older sister had Super Princess Peach as a child, and I remember taking that game because I thought it was super fun. And she wasn't much of a game player anyway. I love that game, and I hope the new Peach game that got announced recently is good. I think Peach deserves more games and more love. Oh, that could have been bad. Zelda. I mean, I've already kind of talked about my... Oh, and I'm dead. I've already kind of talked about Zelda as a whole, the series as a whole. And with Ice Climbers, I also haven't really gotten a chance to experience that game too in depth. I've definitely tried it out, but not any particularly fond memories with them, other than, you know, with the Subspace Emissary. Oh, maybe with Zelda. I had two friends in middle school, and all three of us were super into the Zelda series. I think that's when I started getting more into it. That was Link Between Worlds. I think it's like what led me to want to get Link Between Worlds and get into Zelda. But I remember getting the mangas and getting super into the world. In my English class, we had to bring books in to read every week, and I hated reading, so that's a cool animation. She kind of like spins it. I'd bring the Hyrule Historia in to read, so that I didn't really have to like read a real book. And my English teacher wasn't happy about it, but she didn't fight it. God, I don't want to reminisce too much about middle school. It was an embarrassing time. I needed a lot more social skills back then. God damn, did I not have them. Okay, that didn't work. Come on. Oh shit. I'm just going ham. Not really thinking too much about it. One more? Cool. That didn't really do shit. Super Princess Peach, I guess now that I mention it, is probably getting more love and attention given that Alpharad just played it. Oh, here's Sheik. Which is good. I always want like cool, weird, wacky games to get more attention and more love. Even if they're not necessarily like perfect. And look at that. There goes Rayquaza. I'm gonna, real quick. Okay, yeah, we're doing great on time. But I'm gonna switch the cast around. Oh yeah, speaking of me being cowardly, those little devil guys scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I have no explanation. What was it? Yoshi, Ike, and Pokemon Trainer? Oh, Rob too. I will go ahead and knock these three out. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have too many, like, specific memories with a lot of these characters when I was much, much younger. Oh shoot, I think I did fuck up the order here. We'll see. I'll just keep on talking. But I guess in terms of Fire Emblem, I remember I played the Awakening demo, and that's what convinced me to get Awakening. And I remember having like a whole crisis about the Marth in that game, and whether it was the Smash Marth that I knew and all that. But even now I'm making new memories with Fire Emblem, because I have recently just acquired Path of Radiance, the first of the Tellius games, to try that. Because I love Ike so much, but I've never gotten a chance to play the games he's from. So, I've been giving Path of Radiance a shot, and so far it is delightful. I really do miss a lot of the conveniences and quality of life changes made in newer games, but still, I can appreciate it for what it is, and it is a good, really good story. I guess since there are other characters that we probably won't get to at this rate, unfortunately, I do want to talk about some other characters that I really love and some cool... Okay, I'm back. I died a little bit, talking so much. I had a whole Dokapon session earlier, so my voice is probably getting a little tired. I loved Mario Kart DS as a kid, and that was my first exposure to Rob, who is not only one of my favorite characters to play in Smash, but I think overall Rob / the Ancient Minister is such a highlight in the story. And I didn't know who Rob was in Mario Kart, but I remember not caring, and I just played him all the time because I thought he was so cool. And one thing that I have to complain about Ultimate is that they always change Rob's Final Smash. It's changed in every game so far, and it's always just some sort of laser beam. And I understand it not being in this game to be a spoil, because it would be a spoiler, but I really wish that in Ultimate, his Final Smash had him turn into the Ancient Minister. Like, I know it's a little self-referential, but they did it with Piranha Plant, and they did it with Yoshi, in terms of, like, referencing other Smash games, so I think it would have just been a lovely reference and love letter to this game. And I can only hope in the future they'll do that. I've had this video idea in mind that was like, how do we fix some of the Ultimate Final Smashes, just because some of them feel a little samey, and some of them feel like they don't have that like delicious hidden reference that I'm really begging for. I'm trying to remember some other ones I came up with. Oh, I mean, speaking of Mario Strikers, I would have loved Daisy's Final Smash to be that, like, Crystal Punch for her Mega Strike in Strikers. So, I don't know. What else have I not talked about? I don't know, I feel like I've kept my mouth running this entire time. It's so weird. Like, I usually like to have a better balance of, like, empty space. But, I mean, we're just kind of, like, we're just kind of doing what we have to do in the Great Maze, and there's not much else to talk about. Alright, I think I have the last two mapped out in my head. I know this is a huge complaint about, the Subspace Emissary. Going back, this level isn't as bad, and the maze itself isn't, like, too hard to navigate, just because I think the map is pretty good. But, you know, I can't deny the fact that, like, it does, like, stay a little bit too long. Let's get Falco, Ganon, Wario. A lot of these other characters have had a decent amount of time in the spotlight. I do want to give a little time to Snake, though. But yeah, I do see this as a complaint, and I totally understand. Okay. No, let's actually... We're gonna go back. So yeah, I get it. I guess another game I wanted to shout out, of course, Olimar with Pikmin. I love Pikmin. I found it because of Chugga Conroy. Actually, I didn't. I remember someone telling me about it in elementary school. That's so far back. I tried it at a Blockbuster, but I got too scared about it because of the time limit. And then I didn't give it another shot until Chugga Conroy, so thanks to him, I have one of my favorite game series of all time. There's Ike. God, I love Ike more now that I've gotten to play just a tad of Radiant Dawn. He is just such an intriguing and, like, great character. Feels very distinct from Marth too. Like, I feel like a lot of Fire Emblem protagonists nowadays start to feel a little bit samey. I love Ike. But yeah, the snake, yeah. So the reason I brought him up is, I have a friend who pretty much just trained me in Smash, in competitive Smash, when Ultimate came around. And, like, Blanca and I refer to him as, like, a guru, because it really is. He's, like, we found this old, like, pro player from the Brawl days, and he's taught us so much about the game and made us so much better. But I mean, overall, I just think he's just a really cool person, and, you know, since life has taken us different ways, not because of any conflict, he's moved, I've moved, and I don't really see him that much or get to hear from him more. And I doubt he'll ever see this, but I just want to give him a special shout out and, you know, just note that, you know, his time meant a lot and I really appreciate him. Even though it was just over a silly little game, you know, I appreciate his time, his patience, and his company. Yeah, and I just hope he's doing well. I want to reach out more, I just always get a little nervous about doing so sometimes. I always like worry that I'm gonna bother him since it's been so long since we lost chat. But, yeah. I don't know. He means a lot to me, and I hope he's doing well. And just want to give him a little highlight here, because he helped me get more into competitive Smash, and not just like the more casual stuff. Because I really do appreciate both competitive and casual, even though I haven't compete in a while. And probably won't compete for a while. But with that being said, we have a cannon taking us down. It's a really weird one. And as we go down, we have our final area coming up. And here we are. The Lost Guardian, which is Ganondorf, who we actually haven't gotten a chance to play yet. I got to do that twice. Holy shit. That is so much fun. But yeah. Previously we could check our progress as we go. But there's no one else blocking the way. The door is open. But we're not waiting. It is time. I'm gonna go fight Taboo. And for everyone who's joined me so far, thank you so much for indulging me and listening to me rant about this game that I love and a bunch of other games that I love. Maybe it wasn't always coherent, and maybe it was a little nerdy at times, and I'm just glad that you're here, and I hope you appreciate Brawl a little bit more, because this is only a fraction of why it's so great. Alright, let's go. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a weird cutscene out of nowhere. Sonic was added very late into Brawl's development, and thus he could only really be fit here while also being implemented in the main story. It's a little sad that he didn't get to interact with the other characters, but I'm sure plenty of people are happy that he's here, and he will be joining us for the final fight. We're also going to include Ganon, because he has not gotten any time yet. Rob, for obvious reasons from the story. And honestly, I'm gonna put the rest of my favorite characters in there. You get a full team of 6 to fight Taboo. Let's fucking bring it. These brutal attacks and these animations are so cool. I really want to show them all the moves off, but who knows? The lower difficulty is going to make it so that we knock these guys out quick. Oh! Okay. That attack. If you don't spot dodge or dodge all 3 of those rings, any ring is an insta-kill. I don't think I've ever seen anyone survive it. It is a crazy attack. And Ganon is just not the way to do this. Oh my god. He couldn't hit him for shit. Man, he's still doing so much damage. I have not practiced this fight at all. Oh, I'm just gonna take those hits. Yeah, so if Taboo's fighting style reminds you of anything, it's very reminiscent of like Marks and any other Kirby boss where they teleport around and have these crazy attacks. Sakurai did make Kirby after all, so... And not only just made Kirby, he had a lot of influence over the rest of the Kirby franchise. Oh! Nice. Good hit. And he's almost down. Ah. I tried to time it, but my timing's still off. I would have loved to show me dodging that attack, but it's too crazy. And Ike's just not gonna make it. It's down to the Pokemon trainer. I might not even make it. These attacks are brutal. Oh, but right in time. Oh god. Depending on what attack he does next, we might be done for. That was weird, but got his chin. And Taboo is done for. And with that, we have freed the world from Subspace. Let's see what happens next. And with that, that is the Subspace Emissary. I do want to point out something very interesting. The last from the Smash Dojo that I will talk about here. That little glowing bright X at the end, the area that all of the heroes are staring at from the edge of the cliff, that is where the Isle of the Ancients used to be, that area with the Subspace bomb factory. According to the dojo, so many bombs went off there that it caused irreparable damage. So all the other areas that reverted, well, the Isle of the Ancients was the only one that didn't revert. Too much damage has been done and it is permanently gone. It is entirely possible that Rob from this is the last Rob remaining. So, I know this was a silly crossover story with serious moments, but I do appreciate that so much care went into it, and it was a detail I never even realized when I was younger until reading about it, and it's kind of a tragic end to the story. It really is a shame that this will never happen again. I really do think that this won't. But that's okay. I'm just glad that it ever even happened in the first place. I'm glad that Brawl happened in the first place, because so much has happened in my life because of it. And I hope that this helped you gain some more appreciation for the series. I know tripping is something so silly, but there's so much more to the game than just all the silly little mistakes and weird decisions that happened in this game. I don't know when I'll be on this channel again. It just kind of seems to be a thing that I go and do whenever I feel like it. But I hope that next time I show you another one of my favorite games, and I hope I get to spread more joy revolving around the games that I love. So I hope that you join me next time. Thanks for watching, and thanks for everyone who made the series the way it is, and everyone that helped along the way.